Recording. Alright, we're going to do the Fear Street Part 3 review in 3, 2, 1. So hey, we're at the last one of the Fear Street Trilogy, so I'm sure some of you are wondering, how did it fare? Well, you gotta listen to the review to find out. Hi, I'm Anaji and this is FMV Reviews. So yeah, we're talking about Fear Street 1666, the ending of the trilogy. And if I were to do a rough plot synopsis, I would say at the end of the last movie, they basically figure out that their town is cursed, and they basically work in this plan of that they have to bring this hand of this witch back to her body to end the curse. When they do it, though, it ends up sending the main character from the first movie, into basically this flashback sequence in set in 1666, where she basically gets to see the life of this witch Sarah Fear, and basically learns like where the origin of the curse that is affecting Shadyside so heavily is coming from. And that's like a really brief plot synopsis. I am going to get into spoilers for this one. This is the last one of the trilogy. I'm going to get into spoilers, so I'm saying spoilers right now, so just know from now on, if I'm just going to start going. I'm just going to start saying things. So here we go. I will say that this movie definitely suffers a little bit more than I think the other ones do. I don't think my score for it's going to go down a whole lot, but it kind of feels like two movies smashed together. And I think some people might love that because that means that you're not having to sit through like one tone throughout the whole thing. But for me, I would say I didn't really find the stuff set in the 1666 timeline. So basically this movie is like 2 hours. The first hour is this like 1666 timeline, and the second hour is we're basically going back to 1994 so we can like finish the story out. And I didn't find the stuff in the past super compelling. I think part of it is like they don't have as long as a runtime to set this stuff up. And also I found that like some of the actors are struggling with this like old-timey British accent. I think some of them are trying to do like an Irish accent, and they are not yelling it. They're not nailing it. I'll say that. And it was distracting. But I also just found this stuff in the past not as quite as compelling because they just don't have as much time to build it up. They're having to use a lot of shortcuts to get the plot going, and sometimes it does feel a little like, wow, wouldn't it take like a little bit longer to build? But they don't have as much time to do that. I will say that when the violence hits hard. Sometimes almost to like an absurd level. There's a character at one point who gets attacked with the sharpest knife known to man, a knife that only needs but one slash to cut straight through bone, and you're like, wow, okay. I would say out of the two parts, I think I enjoyed the 1994 part more, only because that's where a lot more of the sort of like slasher horror stuff comes from. When they go into the past, it kind of becomes like a play on like the Scarlet Letter or something like that, and I'm not really as into that. And yeah, I thought the finale was actually pretty fun. I mean, so fun that I almost kind of wish the other ones had more of this sort of finale thing, especially because the finale has it where we basically have like two new characters in the crew, but I don't super care about all of them, and I'm not really getting to see their dynamics play out a whole lot because they've only, like I said in that part, they've only got about an hour to like figure that stuff out. And yeah, but before I get into some problems that I have with the film, I want to say if you're enjoying this, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. So yeah, spoilers, like I said before, I thought the twist of like what's causing this was a little, I kind of wish they had like threaded that better throughout the trilogy. Spoilers, here we go. It gets revealed that the like town sheriff is the one actually responsible for Shadyside being cursed. And I would have liked for him to maybe be more of a character throughout, so that way it would have like hit a little bit harder, or if you like thought back on certain things, you could go, oh yeah, okay, yeah, he was acting kind of weird. But they couldn't really do that here, and because of that, it kind of weakens the twist. And yeah, that's my only really problem that I have with the movie, other than like I don't really find the first hour as compelling set in the past. But this is just like a random observation that I had. But did this movie get like a lot of rights to the Pixies music? I'm a big Pixies fan, and just I like hearing their music, but it's weird some of the songs they were using in like certain parts if you're a Pixies fan, there's a part where the song Gigantic gets used, and if you know what Gigantic is about, it's kind of an odd song to play in that moment. I won't spoil it, but it's kind of an odd song to play in this moment. But yeah, I think overall as a trilogy, I enjoyed it. It didn't really blow my mind away. It didn't really like blow my mind away, but it was fun to have some horror movies. And yeah, I would say it's satisfying. It's pretty breezy in terms of watching. I could see, like, if I was a teenager and this came out, I would have probably loved something like this. I mean, I liked it now. So yeah, there's rumors apparently from the director that they may be kind of doing like a horror shared universe where maybe Fear Street will be something that we get every couple years or maybe every summer. And to be honest, I'd be kind of down for that. Get some new directors in there, you know. I can hopefully, you know, we get some better products. And so basically, I'm gonna say I'm gonna give kind of a dual score here, but for Fear Street Part 2 and for the Fear Street trilogy, I think the trilogy comes to a satisfying end. I do think it's uneven and it has to do a lot of heavy exposition lifting. And there's some threads that are not necessarily very smoothly, like, intertwined into this plot that would have maximized some of the emotional stuff. But ultimately, I'm going to give this movie and the Fear Street trilogy a solid 7 out of 10. And I hope Netflix does more stuff like this, or maybe some of the other streaming platforms will decide to give us. I mean, technically Hulu was doing that with, if y'all are horror fans, with the Blumhouse stuff, but Blumhouse stuff sometimes is. So yeah, 7 out of 10. If you watch this movie, or if you have thoughts about the trilogy just in general, let me know what you think down in the comments down below. I'm going to actually put a link for a video where this guy who, because I was wondering if there's any like Fear Street references that are happening in this trilogy, and this guy did a pretty good job of collecting all the stuff that he thought were references to the books, and it's pretty interesting. But yeah, leave a comment down below, and till the next review, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.